Hey everybody, welcome back to Podcast and Such, where we are watching My Hero Academia Season 5. I'm Jay.
And I'm Luke.
And today we will be discussing Season 5, Episode 1, All Hands on Deck, Class 1A.
I forgot that My Hero Academia is that kind of show that opens up with, like, filler, essentially.
Yeah, well, this is the very. It was a good recap to have because I'd personally so. I guess to give some
a ton of stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So to give some backstory on us here, we're starting on season 5 here because we've watched the first 4 seasons, and I've read all the manga, so I'm caught up. I know what's happening. And where was I going with this? Yeah, so and it's been a bit since we watched season 4, and it's hard for me to remember the exact sequence of order of events of this whole show, because there's so much of it.
I feel like I can't remember a ton. Like, here's my first question. This can be just sort of a recap episode.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of hoping for this episode.
Luke is entering back into the world of My Hero Academia after maybe years.
Yeah. Oh well. First I wanted to ask, because I know how I got into My Hero Academia. How did you get into it?
Oh, okay. We're gonna share our My Hero Academia stories.
Yeah, if you wanna.
Yeah. That's good content.
Yeah,
people love that. People love the background.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember perfectly, but didn't you get into it first?
No, I think you got into it first because I remember you sending me a text that said, "I have never wanted to see somebody become a hero so badly."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I can't remember why I started watching it. I just, I guess, like, I heard buzz, people were buzzing about how good, this anime was, and I'm not an avid anime watcher. I haven't seen most of the popular things, I'm sort of the kind that waits a couple years, I guess, until someone goes like, this one was really good, and people are still talking about how good it is,
Yeah, well, and I believe, because, we didn't hop on this in 2016, we hopped on this probably around like 2018 or 2019, I want to say. Yeah.
It was later. The show was already probably hitting some of that peak popularity.
I think it was well into season 3 when we got into it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, I remember, though, sitting down and watching it myself and watching the first, like, couple of episodes, and they just really got me with Deku's character arc, with him wanting to be a hero. They put the scene of him crying and looking at All Might in front of my face many times, and I was just like, that's my boy. My boy.
Yeah, that first chapter, which is what the first 2 episodes are made of, is kind of a perfect short story in a way. Like,
it's very good, yeah.
I like everything that happens beyond it, but yeah, if there was only one bit you would show somebody, is like, do you like this or not? Because I think it kind of encapsulates so much that will happen. I think it is kind of a perfect first story to tell. It is very, very gripping,
Yeah, there's definitely an aspect of it that I almost miss from the later seasons, where it feels more like full-fledged anime.
Yeah, I miss the limitations that Deku used to have. I like his glass cannon era, where he's kind of having to figure out things or, horrifically maim himself to accomplish anything.
Yeah, that was one of the cooler I can't remember if this was in the first season or if this was like season 2, but when he fought Todoroki at
Season 2?
the season 2 at the sports festival, I think.
Yeah.
And he has to break his fingers
Every
to like
time, yeah.
yeah, every time, and so, like, he's got 10 shots essentially, unless I guess he
Well
probably can't do his
well, no,
thumb.
he put his thumb in his mouth to flick it,
Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah,
and then he broke his fingers again.
yeah.
And I think it was after summer camp that a doctor finally told him, "Hey, quit breaking your arms." But I think it was like during after the sports festival when like the what's her name, recovery girl, the nurse was
Mhm.
like, "Hey, if you do something like this again, I'm not helping you."
Yeah,
Especially if it's just for a school function and not actually like defeating a villain.
which also felt like it could have been an interesting, like, limitation,
Hmm.
but I feel like they ended up kind of forgetting about that. Like, I mean, they established that he's using his feet more,
Yeah.
and he's doing a lot more kicks and stuff, and that's sort of integrated into the character. Um, but it's not like an ever-present problem. It's not like a limiting
Right.
thing, it
Well,
feels like at this point.
we've moved past it because he's learned how to control his output.
Right.
Um, and that's progress, which and I like to see that progress. While I do miss those days, I also understand that we can't do that gimmick forever, especially because the
Sure.
show is so much to me about like physical consequences.
Sure.
When a character gets really hurt, it like really matters. I
Mhm.
think a lot about in comparison. So this is probably a lot of people's first shonen anime,
Mhm.
um, for this generation or whatever. But I grew up with like One Piece, and I think a lot about the fact that Zoro one time tried to cut off both of his feet,
Mhm.
and there's been zero consequence to that. He's not
Sure.
slower. He doesn't get he doesn't feel like a lot of pain in his feet or anything. He just has some really cool scars. And
Right.
that's what that anime's logic is working on, which I'm fine with that. But this show is a lot about like physical consequences to things.
Yeah, I do appreciate that aspect of the show, that there's these consequences, and especially with Deku, that seems highlighted.
Hmm.
But yeah, even that aspect of it sort of feels in the background now. Um, though I appreciate that, like, we have some consequences even now with like Lemillion.
Hmm.
Um, he's lost his powers.
Yep.
So that's a significant thing that has shaken up sort of an aspect of the show, and then, of course, we open with Endeavor, um,
Yeah.
sort of getting messed up, and he's in the hospital, and we'll see if that has lasting consequences. Or it did strike me that this could easily just be your standard shonen protagonist ends up in the hospital, and then 2 episodes later is, back
A-okay.
back
Yeah.
A-okay, back to
Yeah.
the back to the
Right.
grind,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So we'll see if
It
that.
depends. Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate how the show has utilized consequence. Like,
Hmm.
All Might is also a character sort of built on consequence.
Yeah, like he can't really do muscle form anymore after season 3. He's like kind of
Right.
done with that.
Right. And it's interesting to see, though, if they stick with these things, right? Because
Right.
sometimes they'll do a kind of right around situation. Like,
Mm.
I thought it was interesting that when in near the was it the end or like the middle of last season where Deku was with that little girl and her presence or something was allowed him to like go full
Oh yeah.
100% or something, and
So yeah, that was with the fight with Overhaul.
Mhm,
And so that was one of the few times that Deku could do 100% output
mhm,
with One for All,
right,
because she could rewind him to
yeah,
not injure himself gravely.
yeah,
um,
and that was
which
a
I like that ride around. I think it's a very cool ride around.
it was a cool ride around, but you start to worry once they cross that threshold of, like, you know, the writer's room ostensibly is sitting there like, "How could we get 100% out again?" You know?
Right, right. Well, yeah, I see that. But I mean, the thing is that I think we're trying to build to that is the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's at 20%, something like that. Oh no.
Right. It could be good, it could be bad, it's
Yeah.
like it depends, and the writing's been pretty good so far.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, and but so at the time of recording here, there was like one chapter of the manga that was called like the beginning of the end or something like that. While we haven't reached the climax of this saga, I feel like the manga's gonna wrap up within maybe the next, I want to say 50 chapters.
Interesting. See, like,
That's an estimate.
I feel like you've been saying that for a while for some reason, like
Well, because manga moves very slowly, Luke.
Oh, okay, okay.
We only get however many chapters per year.
Mhm.
Um, And yeah, I need to look up those chapter numbers. But this has been a long final saga. But like I
Sure.
get why it's been long, but it
Yeah,
does feel like a final saga
but
to
it
me.
it My Hero Academia is one of those shows where I'm kinda looking at it and I'm going like, "Okay, yeah, let's start heading towards the sunset,
Hmm.
let's start forging the way towards the end here because we have um we have left that glass cannon era and now we're in the slightly more in control era,
Hmm.
and it's like this can only be interesting for so long. We have to move towards something,
Oh yeah, yeah,
some development.
sure, yeah, I get you.
Yeah. But yeah, this episode was interesting to just remind me of like everyone's names and stuff.
Yeah, I know. Like I know Class 1A's names
Mhm.
pretty okay personally. But I
Yeah.
also know that when you only watch something seasonally or whatever, yeah, you're probably gonna forget most people's names. It's not. It is a nice refresher.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah.
helpful
Yeah.
and just remind you of everybody's powers and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was mostly just like the training drill thing, which was interesting.
Right. It was mostly that and everybody reacting to the whole Endeavor fight. With
Yeah.
the Nomu talking about that.
It was basically an excuse to like run a mission and have everyone use their power so that they could,
Say what
put
everybody's powers is.
yeah,
Yeah.
put
Yeah.
their nameplate up there and
Yeah, they've been yeah, since season 2 they've been doing that where they have an episode where they just name everybody's quirk.
yeah, yeah. I had some feelings about the opening, the OP.
Oh, the OP. Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. How do you feel
Yeah,
about it?
I thought it kinda sucked.
Yeah, this might be one of my least favorites of the OPs. I guess if I had to choose a favorite right here and now, it might be Odd Future. That one's from,
Mm,
I think that was the first OP of season 3, I want to say.
yeah,
Um, that one was really cool. Uh, But yeah, this one is kind of unremarkable.
Yeah, it's just they're all just like walking around for
Yeah,
most of it, and then everyone does their blast or whatever. You know,
yeah,
every everyone just pops on the screen and does a
does a
blast.
blast. Yeah,
And it's just like, okay, this is interesting.
yeah.
It's like my standards for OPs are formed in 2003 Full Metal Alchemist. Okay.
Those were pretty great, honestly.
I remember specifically like the first time I was like really enamored with an OP was I can't remember which one because I'm not a weeb. I'm not a nerd. Maybe I'm a nerd, but you know.
Uh,
Uh all I remember is it's the one where Edward windmill kicks Greed in the face.
I want to say that's the fourth one. I'm like trying to look up these OPs
Yeah.
real quick. Okay. Yeah, are we talking about rewrite here?
I think
That's
I
that's the one where they showed like that elevator going down to the city
yeah.
underground. Yeah, I think that might be my favorite of the original series OPs.
Now, there was a couple of really great OPs, so I might be like mixing them together in my brain or something, but I
Yeah.
do remember the elevator one being one of my favorites as well.
Yeah,
But
the elevator one's the last OP. There was what was it
I
called?
specifically remember though the windmill kick one being the first time like I was really like, whoa.
Really hype about it, yeah.
Yeah, this is such a cool opening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
This isn't people just like taking snapshots and familiar scenes, you know?
Right, right. Yeah, so yeah, this is one of the not my I remember I haven't watched the entirety of season 5 yet myself here. I remember I watched like maybe the first I want to say like 3 or 4 episodes last time
Oh, okay.
I sat down to watch it, and it was back when it was only subbed.
Mhm.
And then I was just like, whatever, I'll catch up with it one day. And now we're here right now, and season 6, part 2 is coming out. So I've waited a
Yeah.
while.
Well, it's a very good dub. It's the
Oh,
kind of anime that I prefer. I mean, I guess most of the time I prefer dubs, but like
yeah.
it's one
Have
of
you
those
ever watched something fully subbed?
I think I watched something subbed out of necessity once.
Mm.
Like there wasn't a dub and I was very interested in the story, but I can't for the life of me remember what it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that happens.
But yeah, I have watched some sub stuff and I've watched like movies and stuff subbed. I don't like Parasite was a great
Mm.
movie and that was subs, it was
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
um
I was just curious. I don't think there's like dubs today are very quality, and
yeah,
anybody who says otherwise is either I don't know. It's a taste thing, and again, comedic timing matters a lot to me, and so
yeah.
comedic timing works so well to me when I can hear it in my own language and hear the emphasis on different words and all that.
Yeah, that's ultimately my problem with subs is
Hmm.
that um it's very hard for me personally to detect the tones as well just
Yeah.
because it's not in my language and nothing against the Japanese or anything. I'm sure that their performances are great for their native speakers and
Hmm.
whatnot. It's just culturally there's we say things and emphasize things differently with our different languages.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
it's hard to get the full like comedy or get the full emotion sometimes for me when it's not in my native tongue. And
Yeah,
so
agreed.
thankfully dubs are really good now. So
Yes.
like I can understand why there were some dubs out there that people just notoriously don't like. Um
Yeah, you listen to anything from like it's more of like an 80s thing, 80s,
yeah.
90s even, and some early 2000s, but it's like by like 2004, ADV Films actually has done some pretty decent dubs.
I can even understand why some people don't like the dub of the original dub of like Evangelion.
Mm.
Like because it is cheesy in a lot of ways and sort of over the top. Uh
But I don't
but
know, to me, anime is cheesy and over the top.
yeah, well, especially 90s anime at the time. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
there's I have a certain like nostalgia for it where I prefer it, like even though I
Mm.
haven't really given the Netflix dub uh maybe as much of a chance as I could.
Yeah.
There's just something about that classic 90s feel of the original dub of Evangelion that I really enjoy.
Oh, yeah. Well, and, I don't know, is Tiffany Grant still Asuka in the Netflix dub?
No, I think they changed everybody.
Okay, 'cause I love Tiffany Grant, so
I think they got someone who did a pretty good job of like replicating Tiffany Grant's
yeah, because
performance
yeah,
if
because
they
I
didn't
I
get
I I
her.
I too have not watched the Netflix dub of Evangelion.
Uh, I'm looking it up. Oh no, no, yeah. Well, no, no. This is not the Netflix dub. Um, uh, yeah, it's someone different. Stephanie McKeon.
Okay, I'm trying to do I know that name? Let's see.
I don't
Mm,
know. I mean,
Steph.
I think she does a pretty good Oscar impression.
Uh-huh.
You know, it doesn't sound horribly different to me. Unlike,
Yeah.
like Shinji kind of like definitely has a different quality to it.
Oh, yeah, what was that guy's name? Spike Spencer?
Yeah, Spike
He
Spencer was the
has
original.
such a unique voice. It's very hard to recast a guy like that.
Yeah, for sure. It is weird that they didn't get the original cast back
Yeah,
because,
I
like,
don't know. Was there like some if was it like an all or nothing sort of thing or what? I don't
um,
actually know.
I imagine that Netflix wanted to make their dub distinct, you know?
That's
They
well,
wanted
a
to
distinct
go all in.
script, a distinct dub.
Yeah, well, a distinct translation,
Yeah.
of the original script,
Mhm.
but yeah, they wanted to go all out on it, I think. But it's just weird because at the same time that Netflix put out the dub, and bought Evangelion and everything, the original actors were still working as those characters in the rebuild movies.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's just like,
It
well,
is weird.
these guys are still playing those characters. They're obviously interested,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
I have no idea about behind the scenes of that personally, so I don't actually know.
Yeah, I mean, I could see a situation where it's like Netflix wants their dub to be distinct.
Mhm.
So,
Well, because it's like, why didn't they just buy? Yeah, like, yeah. Why
well,
why didn't they just buy the dub that already existed?
I believe that there was issues with like who owns the rights to that dub anymore
Oh, okay.
because
Huh.
of how the company went defunct and everything. I'm not sure like
Hmm.
what
Interesting.
exactly
Yeah. Well,
happened with that.
because it's like they got old episodes of like Pokemon, on Netflix.
Mhm.
And that was dubbed by 4Kids, and
Mhm.
4Kids no longer exists.
Yeah,
But then
and
they bought the entire licensed Pokemon though, so I don't know exactly
sure,
how all
and
that works.
whoever did the Blu-rays managed to get the rights to the original Evangelion dub because I have the
Mm.
Ultimate Edition that has that original dub on there, so
Ah, that's right, that's right.
I'm not sure what happened with Netflix. Probably a distinction thing, like, they I guess they didn't wanna just buy it. They wanted to buy it and revitalize it. They wanted to kind
Yeah,
of especially because the original dub was so kitschy in certain senses. I guess they
right.
wanted to be like, "Well, we're gonna take this beloved classic, anime, and we're gonna give it the proper treatment and put a full force effort into dubbing it and doing the script over and everything."
True, yeah.
Which mixed results.
Yeah, I'd like to give it a shot at some
People like
point.
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, yeah, they could have picked something that had, like, a bad dub.
Yeah,
But,
I just honestly, the difference for me isn't terribly pronounced, like, one of my things is just that I don't like the change they made to the gross scene in End of Evangelion, where
oh, yeah,
they
what did you say instead of, yeah.
yeah, instead of cursing, Shinji just says, "I'm the lowest of the low."
Oh, yeah, it's like, "Come on.
Which
Come
isn't
on, let 'em say
which
it."
just it just doesn't have the gut punch of the previous line, you know?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. There's changing things, and then there's changing things just to be different, you know?
Yes, yeah,
Which kinda
I agree.
feels weird to me. It's just like, uh, it's like how people, um I feel like you should redub anime in a similar way to how people retranslate the Bible, you know? There's
Uh-huh.
these there's these iconic phrases that have existed in, like, the Western canon for many years that aren't necessarily the best translation of the Greek,
But
but
it's
it's
what we
just
know.
but it's just like, people know this, so we're
Right.
gonna we're gonna keep it similar to how it was in the KJV,
Okay, yeah,
you know?
I see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah. So I think they should do that with anime. There's lots of wiggle room, but, like, for iconic lines, maybe
Mhm.
just leave those alone, you know?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I get you on that. Yeah.
You don't have to change everything.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So it's like, maybe the original script, "I'm the lowest of the low," is, like, a better translation of what Anno or whoever originally wrote,
Mhm.
but come on.
Yeah.
Come on, that was an effed up situation. That requires some stronger language.
Absolutely, yeah. It
Yeah.
really it's yeah, it matches the energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I love it. I'm not gonna lie to you, like, 90% of the reason I shelled out, like, I think it was, like, 80 to $100 for that Blu-ray set with the original dub on it is because I wanted an HD quality cut of End of Evangelion with the line.
With the line, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Oh, boy. Yep. Yeah, I need to rewatch that, series, it's been a bit.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I need to get to it at some point. Maybe I'll watch it with, maybe um, the roommate I'm thinking about moving in with in a
Oh, nice.
couple of months after school is done, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Maybe we'll check that out. I'll be like, hey, you want to see some really messed up,
Anime.
really messed up stuff?
Nice, nice. What would that be? His like first anime?
I don't know if he's watched any anime.
Yeah, because well, it's yeah. I guess that would just be throwing him into the deep end, sink or swim, man.
I think if there's an anime to watch, like if you were to say to me, I don't really want to get into this whole anime thing. I just want to see like what does the medium have to offer? Like
Hmm.
what is like the one show of anime to see if I'm only going to watch one
Mm.
gonna be? I would say Evangelion. That's me personally.
Right. Yeah. If you're like not afraid of scaring this person off of anime because they just want to see the one. Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
Honestly, I don't maybe this is just my taste, but
Hmm.
it didn't scare me off of anime. I mean, I
Oh yeah,
had
well
seen
you already like weird things, so and you'd already
sure.
well and also you've been watching anime since you were like 12, man.
That's true. I've never been super invested though, you know. It's been like Dragon Ball Z
Right,
every
just
once in a
phases.
while. It's been
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I really liked Full Metal Alchemist when I first saw that, you know. It's
Yeah,
never
yeah.
been I've never been a full-blown weeaboo, you know. I've never been like
Right,
anime
yeah.
lunchbox, you know.
Right, I guess I had more of an anime phase in middle school than like say you did, but then I also just didn't really dip my toes into that many things, mostly because I was just very preoccupied with One Piece and the
Sure.
second Full Metal Alchemist series.
Sure.
But
Sure.
I would say yeah, Full Metal Alchemist or this show we're watching right now are like two of the more accessible anime out there. But yeah, if you're talking about like showing everything the medium has to offer, I do understand how Evangelion can be uh symbolic of all those things. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, like Full Metal Alchemist and My Hero definitely are I would say like peak shonen. Like
Hmm.
this is probably the most quality, you know, streamlined. There's not a lot of fat to it
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for either of these. Like I guess we'll see with with My Hero. You
Well,
know, if there's
with my hero, I will say I do agree it's a streamlined series. We will be getting like about 2 filler episodes per season, but
yeah
that's pretty good for anime though. Like
yeah
some
two
shows you
per
get full
season's not
filler
bad.
arcs. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
two's not terrible. I'm just saying that like as far as not being like a One Piece or Naruto where it just like
Goes
is
forever.
goes forever with lots of filler arcs and stuff, you know.
Oh
I
yeah, yeah.
I think it's reasonable to tell someone to watch My Hero Academia. And
It is a lot more reasonable. Yeah.
especially freaking uh Full Metal Alchemist, you know, Brotherhood if you want to go that direction.
Yeah, whichever one. It's only, you're telling somebody, hey, watch this thing that's 52 episodes or 64,
Mhm.
instead of hey, watch this thing that is literally 1,000 episodes long.
Yeah, that that to me is ridiculous. In my
Yeah.
opinion, like My Hero could even be shorter, you know.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
I guess I haven't seen the full story play out,
Yeah, come
but
on. You're barely dipping your toes in here, man. We're only.
yeah. Listen, I'm not saying that it's not, you know, still pretty streamlined.
Mhm.
I'm just saying that like my ideal situation is definitely like a Full Metal where
50
it's
to
yeah,
60
like 50
episodes.
to 60 episodes, especially only 30-minute episodes. Hot dog.
Well,
That's
then
great.
we just finished. Oh yeah, by the way, I meant to mention this at the top. You could listen to our coverage of the entirety of Mob Psycho 100.
Yeah,
Uh, that was only what
30
24
something.
plus uh 37 episodes, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice and concise. You
Yes.
know, I appreciate that, especially like some of my favorite animes are the like 26 episode, like
Yeah.
just ostensibly a single season.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
Those can be good. Just a one shot. I get you on that. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I appreciate it's like because they always have to be moving. You know,
Yes. Yeah. You can't waste any of those episodes
yeah.
on
You
nothing. You know.
you could arguably get like a filler or like character development centric episode,
Mhm.
like a beach episode or something, you know. But shows like Evangelion and like Future Diary, stuff like that, it just feels
Mm.
like they get in, they get out, you know.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Uh,
There is something to longer shows, depending on
Sure,
what you like. It's been kind of neat having something where I can pick it up week to week.
sure.
Um, because I'm a manga reader.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
every Sunday I open up Shonen Jump and check if My Hero, One Piece, or like Spy Family has updated, or Chainsaw Man now.
Nice,
Um,
nice. Yeah.
so it's kind of neat to have that week to week, and with One Piece, it's like I've been having this week to week for 15 years. So
Yeah, yeah. So I get the allure, you know, of
yeah.
having sort of a long running thing that you're interested in and these characters sort of grow with you and et cetera, That's
Hmm.
that's all very cool, but my method of consuming story is very uh I would like concision, I would like
Hmm.
you to present your idea in the best way you can, in a
Yeah, yeah,
in a pretty compact package.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Brevity is the soul of wit, and also you're more of a movie guy than a TV guy.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot
Um,
of TV anyway, so
yeah. So you're like, tell me a story in 2.5 hours. Let's hear it. You know.
yeah. Well, like, I appreciated, my friend and I over the break, we watched the first season of, True Detective.
Oh, nice. You finally got around to that.
Yeah, yeah, we
Nice.
watched it was only, like, 8 episodes, maybe 6 to 8, somewhere
Nice.
in there,
Yeah.
and, yeah, they told a magnificent story, over 8 hours, it's like
Yeah.
and then it's over. There's because it's an anthology series, I don't have to watch any more True Detective. I've got it. I
Yeah, you got the story you wanted, and now you're done.
yeah, now I'm done. It's
Yeah.
it's over. So, there you go.
Nice. Yeah, well, that's how it goes.
Yeah. So, all that's to say, I appreciate My Hero Academia, and I'm excited for the next episode because I feel
Yes.
like we'll start setting up what we're gonna do. Because that's one of
Right.
my That's one of my peeves with, like, an episode starting like this,
Mhm.
a season of a show starting with just, like, the establishing characters thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool and necessary and all, that's fine. Um, but anytime I start a season of something, my first question is like, "Okay, where are we going this year?" "Where are we going with this?"
Right. Yeah, there's not a huge hook in this episode other than like the end there with like Davi and like Hawks talking to him, and you're like, whoa,
Yeah,
why is Hawks here? Um and that's about the only hook. That and Deku telling us what the next episode's gonna be about, and you go, "Oh, I'd
right.
love to know what this next episode's gonna be about."
Yes, yeah. That's all good,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm excited for that to sort of understand, like, what the hell is going on.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, let's find out some things.
Yeah, but it's like, I appreciate the run we're gonna go on. I'm excited to see Deku become Spider-Man. Uh, That'll be
Yeah.
fun to see. But overall, as far as like what I think is peak anime, I think I would tell someone to watch Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
know,
I get you on that. That is, like, kind of it's exactly what you think of when you think of anime.
maybe I'm just an existential boy. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe
Also, you've
maybe
only
I just
seen, like,
enjoy
5
suffering.
anime.
This is true. I mean, I did hit a little period where I watched several short animes.
Okay.
I don't know if we've talked about this, but I did that where, remember specifically I watched, Mysterious Girlfriend X? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Remember I watched that and Future Diary kind of around the same time,
Uh-huh.
and then, I think I watched Angel Beats? Is that one?
That's an anime, yeah. I
I
don't know
think I wa
anything about it. I know it's an anime, though.
I think I watched that, and there was a short period of time in, like, college where I watched a handful of,
Just whatever it sounds like.
of
Ones, yeah.
shorter animes. I looked around, like, the anime, uh, sharing websites and stuff and looked
Uh-huh.
for, like, really concise, like, 10-episode arcs.
Yeah. And yet you still, I think did I buy this for you, or did you buy this yourself fully coolly?
Oh, yeah, I think I bought it maybe for myself, or maybe you bought it for me, I don't know. I still
I
haven't
can't
watched it.
remember, but yeah, it's 6 episodes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I've just gotten really out of watching episodes of things.
No, I get you. Well, we usually when you watch things in episodes, you're usually watching stuff with me.
Yeah,
And that's
basically.
kinda how it goes. That's how we watched the I think I can't remember. I think what we did is I finished up season 1 and I came home from college, and then that's when we started watching the show together. Is that how that happened?
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
Yeah, because I remember us definitely watching season 3 together.
Yeah, we definitely watched season 3 together
And then
and
we watched
season
season
4.
4 years later.
Yeah,
Um
because it took forever to come out.
not only that, it just we got like busy with life and all that, and
Sure.
I think season 5 was already out by the time we were watching season 4 together. It just wasn't dubbed yet.
Yeah, and I wasn't gonna watch a sub
Yeah, I know you weren't. I know
like
you
a
weren't.
weeb.
But yes. But yeah, we got to it.
Yeah, so
Yeah, we're to it now. Yeah, season 6 is out too, and I'm trying to show some self-restraint and not watch the new OPs, even though I've seen some screenshot and they look way cooler than the one we just saw.
yeah. I mean, I would like a better OP for sure, but,
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
And and
We'll get to some.
My Heroes had some good ones, you know? I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
Studio Bones can throw together a, pretty snazzy OP, you know?
Oh yeah.
Give
They know how to
yeah,
do them, but this one
yeah, this one sucked.
not great.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It didn't get me hype, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and at least the ED wasn't a walk cycle of mob and not mob. Sorry. All protagonists stand on the same place in my brain.
Yeah, yeah.
Of Deku and All Might.
Yeah, yeah.
Little walk
That's
cycle
true.
of them.
That's true. I mean, even that was more interesting than, like,
Yeah.
the ending that we got. Like, the ending theme was also trash.
It was fine. I like seeing all the like superhero themed convenience store products.
I didn't like it.
Okay, well,
D tier.
sucks to suck. Yeah,
Not
it's too
good.
bad. Yeah, the one with the Deku and All Might walk cycle. That's my favorite song of any of the OPs, but or the EDs, the EDs.
It's a good song, yeah.
It's a good song, one, because it's a song about Deku and All Might, but too bad I don't like the visuals all that much.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen Death Note too.
Yes, Luke has also seen Death Note,
I
and he
saw
watched
Death Note.
Naruto when he was a kid, and he watched Dragon Ball Z when he was a
Yeah,
kid.
but I mean, if you're talking about completion, I did not complete Dragon Ball Z or
Naruto.
Naruto.
Yeah.
I think I've seen most of the original Naruto before Shippuden.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I th-
I kind of was losing interest in Naruto whilst everybody was still into it. It just
yeah,
never really vibed with me that hard.
that's fair. I do remember really enjoying the Chunin exams arc.
Mhm.
I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, Naruto's not the best.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but
I don't have much of an opinion on Naruto.
yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I saw Death Note, and now to be fair, I've played a lot of Dragon Ball Z video games,
Yeah,
so
that's all you need.
I do probably know the entire story from beginning to end of Dragon Ball Z,
Mhm.
just from exposure to Dragon Ball Z media. But
True.
I've not physically watched all
Oh,
of the
Dragon Ball.
episodes, you know.
Oh, yeah. Nah, I get you. I get you.
So
Yeah.
I hear I watched an interesting video though recently about the dilemma within the how to watch Dragon Ball Z space, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they did the original run of Dragon Ball Z, and you know, obviously the animation kind of sucks in certain areas. There's some problems with like the script and the voice acting and et cetera, et cetera. And overall, just like the original 90s show, it's got some problems. You know,
Mhm.
it was kind of the teen version of Four Kids. Like, you know, Four Kids wasn't, I don't think they were the ones who,
No, I believe it was Oceana who or
yeah,
Oceans Dubs or some hold on, I gotta look that up, make sure I get this name right.
yeah. It was something in that wheelhouse. But anyway, there was um there was a lot of problems with that original run and sort of the making it for younger audiences and stuff.
Mhm.
And eventually I might butcher the order of this or the names of the things. But I
Mhm.
think after that eventually they released an uncut version
Mm.
on like DVD. I don't know if they
Oh,
ever
okay.
aired it anywhere, but they released an uncut version on DVD that fixed some script things. And then later they did Dragon Ball Z Kai, which went back and reanimated a bunch of stuff, but and did new dub stuff that was better. But there were some
Mhm.
problems with like the aspect ratio or something. They like messed it up and like stretched it out or something. It was
Oh, I've never heard that about Kai. I know of the existence of Kai, and I think it's a little more like, isn't it more streamlined or something or
yeah, it's more streamlined and they fixed the script and stuff. I'll have to
okay. Yeah.
maybe I'll send you this video if you're at all interested in
Oh yeah,
knowing.
I love hearing about alternative dubs and stuff and
Yeah.
all the weirdness of production and now like who owns the rights to things and how can we
Yeah.
watch everything of something when it's incomplete or whatever,
Well,
you know.
this guy Chris Stuckman, he's a
Oh yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah.
yeah, he's a movie reviewer primarily on YouTube.
Mhm.
He did a whole video where he talked about how he rewatched Dragon Ball Z and he rewatched it on the most recent like version of Dragon
Uh,
Ball Z, and he just kind of went over like what's the problems with it, what's the best parts of it, how is this better than the other ways you could watch it, and how is this worse in some respects, and
mm.
sort of just goes through that frustration of like there's no perfect version of Dragon Ball Z out there. There's no like definitive,
Oh, I see. I see.
this is the definitive edition of Dragon Ball Z. This is the only thing you have to watch, that sort of stuff.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I never thought about how complicated that would be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, especially with something that's gotten so many like remakes and reanimations and
Mhm.
redubs and stuff like that.
Yeah, because well, even One Piece, with how long it is,
Hmm.
you can just watch the entire show has been made by one company. It's
Hmm.
been dubbed by a couple of companies, but now it's all dubbed by one company, and you just
Hmm.
have that, and you can just watch it all the way through. And of
Do
course, the
the
animation will look different, and they've
Sure.
done reanimations, but it's not like sold as a separate series. It's sold as a special episode or whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, does the does there exist a uncut version of those Four Kids episodes?
I don't believe so. That
Because
I
I
know of.
because specifically, like, I remember they
Naruto
s
Uncut.
yeah, I do remember Naruto Uncut, but I'm thinking more of the censorship changes that Four Kids made
Yes.
to some aspects of the show. Are
I,
those
I
episodes just forever that way, or is there an adult version of those episodes?
I don't believe there's a 4 Kids cut without the edit. I don't believe so. That's the only thing they aired, and that's the only thing they distributed by DVD. I don't believe they made like a DVD where they took out the edits
Okay.
that I know
But
of.
but those are edits, so is there an original version that you could watch if it's in like watch it
Well,
either with the dub or
so Funimation went back
Mhm.
and redubbed the entire show
Okay.
uncut. So
That's what I was asking,
yeah,
yeah.
so you can watch the whole show in English and it
Mhm.
be uncut, but it's all by Funimation instead of the 4 Kids voices.
Right,
Yes.
that's what I was getting at.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah. They didn't destroy the master tapes, and of course, if you want to watch it in Japanese, you can watch it in Japanese. But
sure, sure.
yeah, the master tapes are not gone.
But
they
but in those episodes, is Sanji, like, still eating a lollipop?
No
Or
cigarettes.
okay, so
Yeah, well,
they're
so Funimation when they bought it in 2009 or something, they
Mhm,
were still airing on Toonami, and they were still using like the 4 Kids script, and they
mhm,
just edited out Sanji's cigarettes. But then
yeah,
after it stopped airing on Toonami, I forgot like what exactly happened here, but it stopped airing on Toonami because they were like, "Hey, we're kind of tired of making these edits." I imagine.
mhm,
So instead, they went back, redubbed the entire show, uncut, unedited,
mhm.
so you
Okay,
can watch the show as it is meant to be watched in English.
gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was curious about because
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
again, they didn't destroy the master tapes when 4 Kids got a handle on it.
well, I wasn't sure if Four Kids was responsible for, like, the whole shebang, right? If they just animated the show
Oh, no. 4 Kids
with
is just a dubbing company.
okay,
That's all they did. That's they dubbed Pokemon, they dubbed Sonic X.
yeah,
They were just a dubbing company. They bought the One Piece license and didn't quite realize what they were getting into, or something like somebody. I would that's a show I'd love to know the backstory of how they purchased it or whatever, and
mhm,
who messed up here
yeah, yeah,
on buying this dub, because of course Toei was like, oh yeah, 4 Kids, they're the people who made Pokemon a worldwide phenomenon.
mhm,
We want One Piece to be that in America.
mhm,
But it kind of besmirched One Piece for a lot of people in America because it's a really lame dub.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me. I saw Four Kids One Piece, and I was just like, nope.
See, I was young enough that did not deter me, and so when I looked back at your old Shonen Jumps, I was like, oh yeah, I remember this show. I remember liking it.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I guess this episode kind of turned into a history of anime.
Yeah, I mean, I knew we would have like a ton to talk about in this one. More anime and dubbing facts here. That Tamaki Amajiki, he's voiced by Aaron Dismuke, who's Alphonse
Oh,
in
nice,
the
nice.
original Full Metal Alchemist.
Is that Sun Eater?
Sun Eater. Yep.
Nice, nice,
Yeah, that guy. Yeah,
nice,
and
nice.
the voice of Dobby, what's his name? Hold on, Jason. Uh, Jason Liebrix.
Hmm.
So I still don't have a confirmation on this, but we're all pretty sure that's the guy who voiced Mob in season 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like, what an interesting choice.
Hmm. Yeah.
But still no official confirmation on that, so take that with a grain of salt, everybody.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. But yeah. It's nice to be able to recognize most voices again, because I wasn't familiar with Bang Zoom Entertainment's dubbing cast as much as I am with Funimation Crunchyroll's cast. So
Bang Zoom.
yeah. Um, yeah. Oh yeah, we got a Endeavor voiced by Patrick Sates. You know him as Captain Musashi of the Body Improvement Club.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
Also, how long is season 5?
25 episodes.
25 episodes. Good God.
Yeah, every season beyond season 1 has been 25 episodes.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's that's going more with like the typical like American season of a show.
Yeah. Well, they always put out 2 quarters. They each season's kind of released in two parts, which is why we get 2 OPs per season.
Gotcha.
So there's usually like a little gap in between each section.
Nice. I was wondering, I need to look this up really quick because I just remembered I also watched Yu Yu Hakusho. I think
I remember us watching a good bit of it, yeah.
I think I missed parts for sure. But I'm pretty certain I have seen most of it. And I was just looking
I
at
was pretty young when that was airing on Adult Swim, but so I remember bits of that show, but I don't really remember the majority of it.
well, now I'm looking at it on Funimation, and I think I'm wrong. There's like 4 seasons of this.
Oh yeah.
There's like 100 episodes.
Wow. Yeah, you see
Oh,
that's one that and Hunter x Hunter, same author. I think I'm gonna try and read the manga for those. I've tried
yeah.
to watch Hunter x Hunter a couple of times, and I just don't
Mhm.
really like the episode pacing all that much. So I'm gonna give the manga a shot instead.
I think I'm gonna try to watch Yu Yu Hakusho at some point
Nice.
because I remember the show being pretty good.
Oh yeah. It's an interesting concept and everything, and I have flashes of memories of that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll check that out at some point. But I was just curious how long it was because if it was a shorter one, that might be something we could watch at some point. But
Oh yeah.
we'll see.
Well, we'll see. Well,
Mm.
that would be a show that we maybe do like chunks or something.
Yeah,
Like,
2 seasons at a time or something, and then
yeah, something like that. I mean,
move
yeah.
on to a different season. Because we
Yeah.
could ostensibly do that with like this. We could
Well, yeah.
do.
Well, that's why I was kind of. So when I texted you today and asked if you wanted to do 2 episodes at a time, it has to do with some of the pacing of the show and how much happens per episode or whatever.
Yeah. You think it might be better in the future to do 2 episodes?
I think it might be
Okay,
for certain purposes, but
that's fair.
I think this was a fun introduction to uh our history with
Yeah,
anime and stuff episode
I
and a
just
recap.
I just forgot how little happens in anime episodes.
Well, again, we just came off of Mob Psycho, and I think those episodes feel like proper stories each episode, in my opinion.
Sure, but
But then again, we cover like 2 episodes at a time for the most part on that.
there's so much like cliffhangers and stuff with anime where it's like
Mm.
arcs will last like a couple of episodes, and
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that one, and I remember us whenever we would watch My Hero together. It was always kind of a, let's do one more, sort of
yeah,
deal.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, yeah. So I think the 2 episode format might be better, but
Yeah, we'll plan for 2 episodes next week,
cool. Sounds
and
good to me.
then if anyone's listening, you should tell us what you want to hear us talk about because
Yeah,
I don't know what to do after this.
we have an email. It's a podcast and such at gmail.com. I mean,
Yeah,
I have suggestions. I wanted to do kind of something you wanted to do since you indulged me in Mob Psycho 100.
sure.
So I didn't know if there was anything like really glaring on your watch list, but then I shot out My Hero because I was like, oh, we already both know we like this.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
I definitely need to finish it up. I
Yeah.
started it. I'd like to see the progression or whatever, but
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it'll be something we can always fall back on and revisit between things, because
yeah,
it'll still be going on in the next couple of years. Because the manga is about like 2 years ahead of the anime at all times.
yikes.
Yeah,
So how
so
many?
like a thing that happened 2 years ago recently happened in the anime.
Okay, so dang, it's like how many seasons is this going to be? You think it might go like 10 seasons?
It could. I need to look at like how many chapters they've been adapting per season.
Okay, yeah,
And then like of course figure out like what's the end amount of chapters, because like I said,
sure,
I think it might wrap up in 50, but I could also be very, very wrong.
sure.
uh that's just me, because like yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
It's just printing cash.
Well, I mean, it's doing really well, but I'm hoping that Shonen Jump also understands that, it's good to wrap things up sometimes, guys. Just end it.
Yeah,
Because One Piece, that's finally it's wrapping up, but it's wrapping up in like 5 years.
yeah. I feel like anime especially seems like one of those formats that people want to see go on indefinitely.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
we're still getting like
maybe that's
Dragon Ball
not the right.
Super and all that.
Yeah,
Well, and I think it just has to do with like, I don't know, weekly formats of things. People like to see weekly
yeah.
comics, weekly shows, and just ongoing sagas of familiar characters. Is interesting to see.
But it's weird to me because one last tangent, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, it makes more sense to me the sitcom format
Mm.
that goes on indefinitely and people it's like checking in with your friends every week,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
sort of thing is what people what the show Friends really revolutionized and sort of made popular was this idea of like this like friend group that you hang out with once a week or whatever.
Yeah.
And sure, that can go on indefinitely. It doesn't necessitate an endpoint, but anime often does. Anime often has some sort of goal.
Right,
You know,
right.
there's a reason we're telling this story besides hanging out with these people.
Yeah, that is true, but it's usually like, well, think about like Case Closed. He wants to not be a little kid anymore. That has gone on for over 1,000 episodes.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of check
crazy.
in to the weekly little mystery, and that's what it is.
Sure.
Because he's never gonna not be a little kid anymore.
Some some goals are softer,
Yeah, than
I guess,
others.
than others.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
and I guess you could argue that Deku's goal of being the world's greatest hero is a little softer.
It is kind of a soft goal, and well, and think about like so I haven't caught up with the rest of Pokemon, but I guess whenever that gets dubbed, I'll watch the rest of it and the
Mhm.
whatever special send off episode they've done for Ash recently.
Yeah, yeah.
Did he not become a Pokemon master?
Right,
you know,
right.
I know he won the world championship or whatever, but
I think that's
did he
it.
become a
Yeah.
Pokemon master? Well, but like, because here's the thing: in the last like few seasons of Pokemon, people are constantly saying, "Hey, Ash, what do you mean by Pokemon master?" And he's like,
Pokemon
shrugs.
Master.
So it's like,
Yeah,
so you mean being the best battler? And he's like, no, it's beyond that.
yeah,
So
I
it's
think
just vague enough.
well, I mean, if you wanna get meta about it, the reason they gave him the soft goal of Pokemon Master is just because it's like, we're gonna make more games,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and we need him to keep hunting, keep doing his thing, you know?
Oh, yeah. No, I absolutely understand the better reason for it all. It's the same
But
reason that Ash stays 10 years old.
but
It's to keep it going.
it's one of the reasons why I appreciate so much I guess my 2 favorite anime at this point are Future Diary and Neon Genesis.
Hmm.
You know, even Evangelion, man, it's like they set us up. They're like, "Here's the sitch," you know,
Right. Yeah, 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 yeah.
and
Yeah. Very concise
in
goals.
Evangelion, we've got this prophecy. There's angels coming. There's going to be like 13 of them or something.
Hmm.
And once that happens, human instrumentality.
Right.
You know, and then in Future Diary, it's like, hey, we're in this death game. There's like 10 or 13. I can't remember. They like using 13 a lot in
I
these
think it
kinds
was
of things.
13, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there's X amount of contestants.
Yes.
You're gonna go through those contestants. That's the format of the show.
True. True.
You know,
Yeah. I do like something that is concise, but I can appreciate both. As a One Piece fan, it has been interesting to see this big journey.
as a One Piece fan,
As a one as a One Piece fan, derogatory. Um, yeah, it's been interesting to see this Odyssey, and then I would say, hopefully, My Hero in the end here will be kind of a mid-sized show, in the
yeah,
same way of Yu Yu Hakusho being about 100 or so episodes instead of 1,000 or so episodes. You know.
isn't it already over 100?
Yes,
My
yeah, yeah,
Hero is 6 seasons in, 25
yeah, yeah.
episodes
You
season.
are correct. It is a little over 150.
It is not mid-sized at this point.
No, no. Well, again, in the realm of like anime being very long, like how long is Bleach?
Bleach is too long.
Uh, Bleach. This is just tangents the episode guy. By the way, it's just tangents the episode.
People need to calm down.
Okay, list of Bleach episodes. Let's see how many you have. Oh, and it's also going to have a return season. Or it did have its return season.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Adapting the final arc of the manga. 366
366. Okay.
of the original run, at least. I don't know how many that final arc added,
That's
if that's including
that's
it or not.
too many.
You see, I'd call that a long one, and that and like
Yeah,
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and stuff like that. Those are long ones, and but I'd still call this a mid-sized anime in the grand scheme of things. I would
sure.
call things that are 25 to 50 episodes short.
Listen, One Piece is really messing up the curve here, okay?
There are other anime that have exceeded One Piece long before One Piece.
Yikes.
It's not even it's within the top 10 like longest anime of all time. Let's see. I guess longest anime series by episode counts. Let's see. It is number 16 on the list of longest anime.
What is?
One Piece's. It's
Yeah.
number 16 on the list of longest anime. And all these other things are more like episodic deals, like Case Closed and Doraemon. And the number one longest anime is something called Saze-san, which is some kind of adaptation of like little 4-panel gag strips in a newspaper. And it is 2,640 episodes. But again, that's by episode count, so I don't know if that if how many hours that is.
Yikers.
But yeah. So it seems like more like gag series and whatnot get to have longer run times. This is one of the longer ones with like one single story, one single writer, and all that, you know.
True.
Yep.
Well, that's anime, folks.
That is anime, and we'll be talking about more anime next week or whatever. Whenever I get these episodes out, I'm still editing our mob episodes. But
we'll figure it out
whenever we get them out. Yeah. So, next episode is called Vestiges. You heard Deku tell us all about one for all and all for one, all that deal.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I miss one thing I miss from previous seasons is when characters would have little discussions at the end of each episode, but now it's just Deku. It's like, come on, let me have a little silly conversation, whatever.
Silly conversations.
Yeah, I want them to have little silly conversations.
Gotta love it.
Yep. Ooh, well, I guess I'll sign off.
Yeah.
Unless you have another tangent you want to go on.
I'll save it for next week.
Cool. Oh man, I gotta pick a new song now. Alright, well. Thank you for listening to Podcast and Such. Join us next week as we discuss My Hero Academia Season 5, Episodes 2 and 3. See you then.
Bye.
You want to say bye?
I thought I did.
Didn't hear you.
Bye.
It didn't pick up.
It didn't pick up. Just fix that in post.
Well, it did. Well, I can edit that in post. Yes, I will.
Fix it in post. Fix the whole episode in post.
No, it's going to be an hour of our blathering.
I like it.